Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 16th day of June 2020. Well, I just finished the Esoteric Influences. I watched them. They're uploading as we speak. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll check in on that and see if it's finished. It likely will be, and then I'll go ahead and watch this one and then upload it. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future here this morning. I'm usually done by noon, maybe a little before. But if all things go well and I don't have to do these things over and over again, but sometimes I do, and so you never know. But anyway, today's the 16th of the month on this 6 energy month, this 22 energy year, and we are it's a 7 energy, so we're looking at balance and taking an observer role today. Sometimes you just got to do that, particularly if you're empathic. You've got to step back and you've got to take that observer role and stay out of the emotion of things. Today's a Tuesday, and so we've got some Mars energy today, but we're also in Taurus, so whereas that might manifest as some stubbornness, at the same time, things should calm down somewhat today. Maybe work a little more focused, a little more diligently. But the other thing that Taurians like to do is they like to rest. And so if you feel you need to do that, please do. Just take time for yourself today. If yesterday was chaotic, give yourself a chance to just sort of settle in today and use this 7 energy to sort of bring things to balance and let things settle out. So anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at our first 3 cards. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. Click subscribe. I'd love you to do that. And if you've come back, thank you. I really appreciate it. I was doing the Esoteric Influences at the beginning of this, and as you know, those of you who have been here, I've changed that and given it its own home. So yesterday I went a little long. My goal is to shorten this up a little bit, and I don't know, things just sort of, we took more cards, and I don't know, things just got a little crazy yesterday, but we're going to try and go for a little shorter time today, a little more concise, but we'll see though. You just never know. You start drawing cards and you get a conversation going about them, and it just goes where it goes. So I don't know. Anyway, especially when a king's involved like it was yesterday. So I got to bend my cards back here a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take the first 3 cards. And as always, I'll take the 13th card each time for randomness sake. So let's take our first card and see what that is. Oh, well, we have a 7 to match today's energy. 7 of Cups, which you can interpret a couple of different ways, and I'm a little more positive. Usually it's, you're living in fantasy or you're living in dreamland. But I've just always felt that if you can't do that, where does innovation come from? You see what I mean? I don't look upon that in the same way as a lot of standard interpretations are, I guess. It just doesn't hit me that way. It's like, oh, really? But then I'm a witch, so why would it? I'm already, somewhere else. So, I mean, it could just be that I see it because of that. I don't know. It's like, well, geez, what's wrong with having your head in the clouds? Where else would it be? So, I don't know. Let's take our next card. Well, we have the moon. So, okay, it could mean some self-deception here, but we'll see. We'll see what the third card is. The moon really is about deception. It's also about rebirth, hidden things. So you see, sometimes you have to interpret some of these cards, not individually, but paired with another. So now that we see the moon is next to the 7 of Cups, maybe there is a little more, stuff going on behind the scenes, maybe stuff going on, attitudes, perceptions that could be causing problems, causing someone to act in a certain way, maybe because they don't think realistically. So maybe then they don't they don't behave in a way that's balanced, and maybe they behave in a way that's deceptive or something like that. So that's where you can see pairing the two kind of gives this kind of maybe focuses the 7 into one direction of interpretation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, last card. Maybe. Maybe not. The Hierophant. It's not uncommon these days to get more than one major card, at least one, but often two. And then there'll be the days where I get all three. This is a 22 year, and so soul is coming in. This is whenever you see the cosmic builder number, the master numbers have more power, and you don't reduce them. So 11 would not be reduced to 2, and 22 would not be reduced to 4. 33, which is Christ consciousness, would not be reduced to 6. You want to keep the power of the dual number together. And so, you know, and basically it basically you can even have like a gateway experience with your date, with your month, date, and year. Say you had say the Lion's Gate in 2008 would be August 8th, 2008, so it would be 888. Okay. In 2012, December 12th would be 12-12-12, which reduces to 333, but that's another thing. But again, you see the repetitive numbers. It sort of signals a gateway or a portal spiritually for that sort of energy then to come through and manifest differently. Well, in this 22 year, you know, we're looking at soul level change. And so I think that's why we're getting a consistent level of major cards in these readings. Simply because it's the soul energy that's operating right now. I know there's a lot of conflict going on, I know, but what it's doing is it's bringing everything to light. As bad as it is, we can't look away now. It's a little hard to do when there's videos everywhere, when it's on the news. We have to confront the social justice issues of our time because they've been here forever. So this is the time, and in this 22 year, is it any wonder all of this is happening? We need to face the fact about our health care. We need to face the fact about how we navigate this United States of America in a united fashion, right? Lots of issues like that are finding their voice through these things that we're experiencing now, so that real change can take place, to where we can deal with all these things and put them behind us, you see. Understand the truth of all this. We're one. Everyone around us is the other side of self. It's high time we started acting like it. See through the eyes of source vision instead of letting ego drive the conversation and the choices and the outcome. Just shift it. I wrote a book, my most recent book. I give some ways to do that. Shift your perception, transmuting ego to spirit. You know, I think that we're at that place now. This is ascension, all right? That's really what this is about. It's the shift of perception from ego to spirit. That's what this is. It's a lot of other things too. But at its most base form, you have to know that before you can do that, right? So that's why I think we have all of these. And we have the Hierophant, the 5th card of a major arcana. 5 energy is change. This is the 18th card, so a 9 energy, completion, endings. So maybe it's the end of deception. We could say that the Hierophant is a more higher self-focus, right? We can say this is perception, keeping perception in balance, reaching for the stars while we're, you know, treading a practical path, right? So let's go ahead and we'll arrange these cards. Let's have the influencing aspect be the majors. We'll put them first up at the top, and then we'll have them influence the Seven of Cups. Okay, so that's the directionality then of the reading. So let's talk about the moon. 18th card of the major arcana, a 9 energy, completion. That's why you see the lobster coming out of the pool, signifying rebirth. There's a path coming down from the mountains. It's split in two there, just like you see the two towers, signifying the middle path. Now it's crooked, it's windy. It's going up through mountains, so it's not going to be easy. The path of rebirth rarely is. You see the two dogs barking at the moon, who isn't particularly happy about that. So the effect of polarity on our emotions. The dogs could signify dark and light. Let's look at the Hierophant. We see change. We see devotion. Again, two pillars, the middle way. The voice of spirit. You see threes represented. You think you see three crosses right here, but you don't. You actually see 5 because there's one on each of his feet. But you see the descending attitude, the descending perception, the descending flow of energy into spirit. He sits higher than the other two, representing the voice of God, basically. It's patriarchal in its depiction, so you have to forgive that. And just understand the triplicity nature, the triple aspect nature of mind, body, spirit alignment. So, I mean, we're talking divine wisdom, mercy, self and others. And with the moon, we're talking about deception and clearing that up, and a rebirth of sorts. You can also look at the Hierophant in terms of authority and how we're going to deal with that, and who it is we regard as the authority. Because it seems to me if we regard the police department as the authority right now, then we're doing a disservice to ourselves, because that's an expression of ego right now. In time, it won't be. In time, we'll all be integrated back together. But right now, we're not. And people are suffering because of it. So you could see this with the wrong type of authority and the deception that follows. So if that's the situation, then how do you get out of it? Well, you get out of it by thinking outside the box. Cottonwood's going crazy out there. You think outside the box. You give yourself a chance to dream big. When you consider the rebirth aspect of the moon, the 7 comes into a whole other meaning, doesn't it? The sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. We can do anything. We can have this any way we want it. We can go forward together in respect and dignity for the personal sovereignty of other people, for the unity that we share. We can do that, or we can continue on like we are. But if we continue on like we are, nothing good's going to come of it. So let's do one more card. Right now we have, I think, a 1 energy. Let's see. That'd be 16, or is it? No. Well, let me do this. So that's a 7, and 5 is 12, so that's 3. No, it's a 3 energy. Right now we got a 3 energy. hard to read Roman numerals in the dark. It's like, what is that? Let's do one more card. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, new foundation. So I'm glad that I did this because this is where I was going with it. You know, the whole idea that we can decide now where we're going to go. Okay. It really is dependent upon the lobster down here. Okay. And that's really what I'm talking about. This is a reading about transformation and rebirth. We can move into spirit. If you, I hate this card. But it's a card of mind, body, spirit. Anyway, it's just too patriarchal for my taste, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but basic, because you know the clergy is just as much a part of this, right? I mean, it has been in some respects, although the clergy is now becoming part of the solution. Right? So we have that as well. It's not all of them. It's some of them, though, have been part of this whole, you know, inappropriate expression of authority. So I guess that's why I'm bothered by the card. But with the Ace of Pentacles, we have another hand reaching out from the clouds here and offering a new foundation, basically. New material security, new everything. You see the pathway going through the arched, and it's a greened archway. Okay, there's greenery all over it, so there's abundance. So there's abundance waiting for us. Now there's mountains on the other side, so there's going to be challenges, of course. But guess what? I think we can meet them. I think the motivation is there. I think the understanding of the truth is there, right? Aces are said to contain the energy of the entire suit. In this case, it's the earth element. So it's about our material security and foundation. They really, in my view, have as much power as a major card. I view them along the lines of the Fool. I do the same with the Pages. It's all about undeveloped potential. It's just that this is signifying undeveloped potential in terms of our foundation and material security together. Ansus is the rune for today, the fourth rune of the Elder Futhark. Again, structure. But structure from where? It's the voice of spirit. You see Lagus twice. Excuse me, losing my voice. In Ansus, it's known as Odin's rune, by the way. But we see Lagus twice. So the flow of spirit. It's like half of Tiwas. But I think that what we're talking about with Ansus is we're talking about hearing the voice of spirit within and having that be our counsel. Definitely aligns with the Hierophant in its less patriarchal aspects. If you could look at that differently, then it would definitely align with Ansus. Trying to hear the voice of spirit can be difficult, you know, when you don't understand that that's you. Oh, well, is this Laetitia? Yeah. So Laetitia is the geomancy rune for today, and I'll draw that out for you. Fold my paper here so you don't see all the other stuff. And it gets confusing. It gets confusing when I explode out runes, especially if there's a whole bunch of things. Manas alone is I mean, you do that and you've just got, I don't even know how many runes, like 6 runes or something comprise it. It's total bind rune. So anyway, this is Laetitia. The opposite of it is Tristitia. That would be sadness, but this is joy. Resembles populace. Populace would be, instead of the single dot up at the top, there'd be 2. That'd be the opposite of via, and that's going along with the crowd. Via would be taking a new path. But here we take a new path in joy with others and fellowship with others. Similar to the rune Vunyo. It's a similar energy to that, to the Rum Vunyo would be Laetitia. So I think that we have a chance to shake things up here and to take a new path, to get rid of the deception and have a rebirth of sorts together collectively. Whether you're talking about, the social justice issues that we're talking about right now, or whether you're talking about just simply getting on board with wearing a mask. If we don't do this, we're not going to survive the virus. It's exploding everywhere. It's exploding here in Oregon. We've got a whole bunch more cases right now. And I guess the governor has sort of slowed the opening process in Multnomah County. Multnomah County may be the biggest county along the I-5 corridor. We call that in the valley. Well, anyway. Okay, you got Oregon. Okay, I live in the middle. Along the I-5 corridor, well, if this is west and this is east, I-5 corridor, a little bit of land, and then the coast. Most of your big cities are along the I-5 corridor. You've got those of us over here in central and eastern and southern, southeastern Oregon. It's rural. It's farms. It's, there's little cities, but it's not that big. Bend is next to me, and it's, I don't know, 80-some thousand people, maybe, I don't know. We're up to about 30,000. We moved here in 81, and we had like 6,000 people here when we moved here. So we have not grown all that much over here, although we have, but it's not like along the I-5 corridor. Okay, so most of the outbreak is there, and that's where we're seeing, although the coast has a whole bunch now, and one other county has a whole bunch now. This is not going away, folks, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. We have to get on board with the idea of wearing masks. We have to get on board with the idea of protecting ourselves and everybody else. Just do it. Be the spiritual warrior within and wear a mask. Okay, I said this in the esoteric stuff for today. Just wear a mask, For us to get through anything right now, we have to do it together, whether it's the virus or whether it's the virus of racism. To have a president that wants to hold rallies on significant days where bad things have happened to a whole lot of Black people, that's being done by design. That's being done to provoke. It's being done to harm. Don't ever let anyone tell you any different, okay? That's why it's being done. It's done to hurt people. It's like when someone will bring up something that's painful, or embarrassing. You're in a group of people, and you get somebody that will bring things up that are provocative and just to embarrass somebody else. Yeah, that's what this is. It's that same kind of sadistic energy that causes people to do that kind of crap. Well, that's what's happening to people now here with this, and it's ridiculous. It's shameful that the President of the United States could do something like that. Yeah. Well, y'all know what to do in November, so there you go. Anyway, I guess that's it. I think that we have a chance here to, and I think the readings have been showing it, to take a different path, to use the intellect that we all have and make better choices. Soledad O'Brien on Twitter is always saying, do better, to the journalists. It's like, no, he lied. Use the word lied. Instead, they soften it all, almost to the point of not reporting truthfully, right? Just come out and say the dude lied. You'll feel better, trust me. But no, they can't do that. They got to dissemble and be stupid about it. So I feel sorry for them. They're only shooting themselves in the foot because we're all watching. So either tell us the truth or just go away, right? Just don't say anything at all. Just tell the truth. But yeah, so that's what's been going on, and I think that we all got to get on the same page here. We all have to know what's going on. We all have to make the decision that we can't let this go on anymore, and we all got to do something about it. So I think that that's where these readings have been going. I think that, in this 22 years, it's really the only thing that can happen. I think soul is taking command of the situation, and it's putting us all in these positions where we have to do something now. Don't have a choice. Whether it's collectively in our country or things that are happening in your personal life, just think about it for a moment. How many things are you being forced to deal with now that you don't want to? Or maybe you've resisted. Or maybe you just haven't known how. Suddenly, now you're thrust into the situation where you have to do something now. Got to take a stand. Got to speak up. Got to make your wishes known. So, anyhow, just come at that from the standpoint of spirit and we'll all be okay. So anyway, thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow. Click subscribe. I'd love you to do that. Check out the blog. Links are below. And have a wonderful day. And be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.